Oh boy, Minnesota, this season was a reality check, wasn't it? Y'all went 13-4 last season, thriving in one-score games, and just 1 year later, y'all struggled in one-score games and had a 7-10 record. How did we get here? Let's find out. Many people called the Vikings frauds in 2022 when they had no convincing wins by big margins, and they were proven right when the Vikings lost to the Daniel Jones-led Giants in the wildcard round. That being said, the first step in 2023 was to prove that this team is legit. The first part of this was to start off right, then they absolutely did not. This team started off with 3 straight losses to the Buccaneers, Eagles, and Chargers. The kicker, all of them were a loss by 1 score. And after this, they beat the Panthers by 8, but then lost by 7 to the Chiefs. The worst part about this loss, though, Justin Jefferson would be out for a long time due to a hamstring injury and spending time on the IR as a result. From here, they rattled off 2 wins against the Bears and Niners, once again in one-score fashion. To this point, the Vikings have played 7 games, and they were all one-score games, and the Vikings sit at 3-4. So not out of it just yet, but that would not last for very long. In their game against the Packers on October 29th, their 8th game of the season, disaster struck. Kirk Cousins went down with a season-ending Achilles tear. From here, the Vikings had very few options, but they did at least get the victory against Green Bay by 14 points. This would lead to the Vikings trading for Joshua Dobbs from the Arizona Cardinals. This would be the guy to take this team to the promised land, or so they hoped. Dobbs started out looking like he would be the guy. He won over the Falcons and Saints, ironically by 1 score each time, but took a tough loss to the Broncos by 1 point. After this, the Broncos lost to the Bears by 2, but they beat the Raiders by 3 in a 3-0 win. The problem? Dobbs got benched in this game, and it seemed like his time in Minnesota was done, at least as the starter. At 7-6 and the season on the line, the Minnesota Vikings turned to a rotation of Nick Mullins and Jaron Hall, and it did not go well. They lost their next 2 games by 1 score to the Bengals and Lions, and then lost to the Packers and Lions as well to finish the season at 7-10. So to recap, the 2022 Minnesota Vikings went 10-0 in regular season games that ended as a 1-score game. But in 2023, the Vikings played 14 one-score games and went 6-8 in those games. Not to mention, they also missed the playoffs this season. This team has really suffered a reality check, and they need big sweeping changes in order for Minnesota to be successful in years to come.